Hello everyone, and welcome once again to Caleb Likes Books. Today I have another book review for you, and that is for Sacrilege by Barbara Avon. This is a novella that was sent to me, so thank you to Barbara Avon and her fiance, who's actually the one who sent this to me. So thank you to them for sending this my way. Let me check it out. This is a kind of marketed as like a horror novella with heavy religious themes, which are two things that I really like, especially when they're combined. And so I was really interested in reading this and looking forward to checking it out. It sounded like something that would be up my alley. And I did enjoy this novella. It wasn't like a mind-blowingly amazing novella. I think it was just like a solidly good, enjoyable novella. So there's things I liked about it. There's some things that didn't quite work for me, but generally I enjoyed it, which was nice. So to get into some things that I enjoyed about this book, the thing that I loved the most in this book was the prose. Now, I'm not typically someone who's like very focused on the prose and on the writing in terms of a book. Usually it's like, the thing I care about most typically is the characters. Then you have like the plot and the world building. Prose tends to be pretty low on the list when it comes to like the core parts of a book, as far as what I'm interested in. But this book does prose very, very well. It is very evocative. It's very atmospheric. It has a lot of personality to it. It's very, it just has a strong sense of feel to it that I really enjoyed. And there's a lot of really good, like, phrases and lines and sentences and, like, quotes and things. This book has a lot of, like, diary entries in it that are kind of epigraphs. Or at least I think they're epigraphs. The version of this book that I was sent appears to be like a normal kind of manuscript copy. It's not quite formatted the way that a book normally would be. So I assume that they are epigraphs, but I couldn't completely tell based on the way that the PDF that I was sent was structured. But at any rate, those are really cool. I really enjoyed those. There's a lot of really good, like very poetic, very evocative language used in this book that I really enjoy. It's just the writing style and the dialogue as well is written really well. Has a lot of personality to it. So the writing in general here I think is really well done. Like it's written well, and it's also the writing itself. Like I was enjoying reading this book, just the process of actually reading it. Just seeing the way that Barbara Avon put the prose of this book together was really well done. I also think that the character work here is solid. I wouldn't say the characters to me were amazing, but they are, they've got a little bit of depth to them, especially considering how short this is. It's only 130 pages or so, I think. So the character work for the length of the book is well done. You mainly follow this one character named Chris, who is an ex-Catholic priest with a lot of, like, he's got like alcoholism problems and different things going on, as well as a couple other characters. There's this character named Jude who he kind of has this relationship with, and there's a few other characters here and there as well. The character work generally is well done. All the characters kind of have a good, decent sense of their own personality to them, and they all, like, Chris has like some interesting like backstory stuff going on. And the character interactions are really good. A lot of this book is dialogue, so you get a lot of character interactions in this book. I especially enjoyed some of the interactions between him and Jude, and also you get some flashback sequences, which are him, as a priest in like the confessional or whatever it's called. I didn't grow up Catholic or anything, so I don't exactly know. But I really enjoyed those sections, like him just talking to these other people, going over things that were going on, and things like that, and using that as a way also to kind of get to know him better, which was really cool. And so generally the character work here and the dialogue and the dynamics between characters was well done, and things like that. There's also some really good imagery in here that I enjoyed. I wouldn't say, like, this at least to me was pitched as a horror book. I would say there are some horror elements in this book, especially towards the end. There's a couple of things here and there that are kind of horror, but I wouldn't say that it is an overtly, like, scary book or anything like that. Like, it definitely has a sense of darkness to it, but I would not consider this to be a horror book personally. There's not really anything in it that I found particularly scary. But there are some very, like, striking, like, imagery that is used in this book and things like that. That was well done. As far as what didn't quite work for me as well in this book, that is almost entirely in terms of like the plot. The plot of this book never really drew me in that much. Like the scenes, like individually, are well done. The characters, the dialogue is well done, but the plot of the book in general just never really drew me in. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that. Like it's just, you know, I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed all this kind of stuff, but it's just the story it was telling, the story that was kind of bringing them all together, just never quite really landed for me. Like it was fine enough, but it didn't really, like I was never like, oh, I need to know what happens next, or like things like that. I was just enjoying, you know, the prose, I was enjoying the characters, I was enjoying, you know, all that kind of stuff, the themes. There's some interesting themes going on here with, you know, obviously the religious themes, and then, you know, this character who came from this very religious background, but also is kind of questioning a lot of things and struggling with his own vices and things like that, which, you know, that's all well done. But the plot itself of this book just never quite landed for me, and that really is it. And that's really all I have to say about this book in general. Like, it's well done. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the writing. I enjoyed the themes, the imagery, things like that. All that stuff's well done. You know, the plot is just, you know, it was whatever. Didn't quite draw me in, but in general, most of this book I think was done well. It just wasn't one that super drew me in. So as far as a rating out of 10 that I'd give this one, I'd give it like a 7. Like, it was good for sure. There's some parts of it that I really liked. I loved the prose. That is the one thing about this book that I think I truly loved. Even things like the backstory of Chris, or some of the themes, like, I think could have been explored a bit more. Of course, that would probably have to be done more in either like a long novella or like a, you know, full novel. So I think this could have been interesting if it had been kind of expanded on a bit more. Yeah, that's generally my thoughts on it. Like, it was a good, enjoyable read. Wasn't amazing, but I had a decent time with it. So if something like this sounds up your alley, I'd recommend checking it out. And for nothing else, I think you'll enjoy the prose. And if you are like me and you enjoy these kinds of themes, this kind of storytelling, you might enjoy it. So that pretty much is it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you have read this book before, what you thought of it, or if you're interested in reading it, or anything like that. So yeah, that is pretty much it for this video. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.